do you find, or well, let me say it this way: do you think that that the SLA target, or the target percentage of SLA attainment, should be 100%?
That's a very good question, right? I think there are some specific instances where it's important, and those are probably the minority of what we're talking about here. Maybe 1 to 5% max should be that way. Other than that, there has to be some leeway in there so that the wiggle room is to allow you to run your business like a business, because you're not a machine. And you've got human beings involved, and those human beings are going to make a mistake, slip on something, and do that. And without that flexibility, you got everybody written up every week, and it's not going to help and not going to make it work.
Right.
Yeah, I 100% agree that not 100% is is a more realistic target for many SLAs.
Yep.
It just, obviously no wiggle room with 100%, and
well, right. Well, the other thing too is that assumes that you have control of everything in terms of an incident, resolving the incident, or the delivery of an item. Either way, and I don't think you do. The approach that I have found that has worked best, and it's worked best with the 4 large companies that I've worked for, has been for end user type incidents. So priority, if you use a scale of 5, which seems to be kind of at least universally adopted, anything that would be a priority 3, 4, or 5 would have different resolution times. I think a priority 5 would be 5 days, a priority 4 would be 3 days, and a priority 3 would be 1 day. And our SLA with our business is that we would meet those 80% of the time. And if we were doing that, we would consider that achieved. For the higher priority incidents, they had resolution times measured in hours, and it would go across weekends and after business hours as well. So it was a 24/7 SLA, if that makes sense. And we would do priority 1, we had to have resolved in 3 hours, and priority 2, we had to resolved in 5 hours. And we'd have to attain those performance levels 90% of the time. But one of the things we would do track is, because it is an agreement between us as the service provider and our customers, if you will, or our employee base as the consumers of these services, both of us have to participate in that SLA. And so we would set up in our incident response and our service catalog deliveries, we would have states that would reflect where the ownership of the incident currently is. Now, in a high priority incident, that doesn't really change much. As a matter of fact, usually it's the incident commander, right, or the NOC that owns those. But we would set up for an incident, we would have like a pending user, right? Because hey, somebody from the desktop support team has called them, they've left them a voicemail, they haven't responded. And so we'd mark that incident as pending user because we need feedback from the user from which we can go on. And usually, in the service desk world, you'll hear, well, I called them 3 times and I've never gotten a response. Well, when the SLA timer fires, we would capture that incident state. So if it was pending, well, first off, it was with us, right? It would be, the state would be open, right, or new. And that would tell us, well, we owned the ticket when the SLA blew. Pending user would be, well, the customer owned the SLA. In some cases, we'd have pending vendor if we were dependent upon a vendor to provide we're involved in the service restoration of that. And then in some cases, pending change, maybe the thing necessary to, although we might have we'd do the workaround, the thing to actually fix the issue and prevent the incident from occurring again would be pending on a change ticket. And so we capture those states when the SLA timer blew. So when we went to go to report the business, we could tell them the whole story. And if you want, I actually have a slide deck where I kind of captured a year of that. But that made it, I think that meant that kind of told a story to the business and to us in IT that first off, we're a team working together to achieve these performance goals. And it wasn't just a number, if you will, to hang myself by to say, well, either you're doing a bad job or a good job. It was, okay, no, this is the partnership. This is what we agreed to source. And we would report back on it. And when we missed the SLAs, we would take action to figure out, well, how did that happen? And what do we do to improve that performance?